What if Minato never died? Konoha's Yellow Flash, the legendary ninja, Protogae of Jiraiya, the Fourth Hokage, most of the people that know Naruto know who Minato is. He's as popular among Naruto fans as Bardock is to Dragon Ball fans, perhaps more so, an indomitable spirit who loved his village as much as he loved his family. This was displayed in spades during the Nine-Tailed Fox's attack on Konoha. He selflessly tagged the tailed beast and transported it to a place far from the village, and later even jumped in the way of a claw to stop the tailed beast from killing his son. Minato was an inspiration to people everywhere in what it meant to be a national leader and father, and what it takes to serve something greater than yourself. But one thing lingers on my mind as I witness Minato's story. Did it really have to be this way? Did he really have to use the Reaper Death Seal? Did he really have to die? Well, today we're going to look at the future where Minato might have survived. So buckle up and grab your ninja headband, because today we're diving into another what if. What if Minato never died? Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media accounts. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. The night is October 10th. The night is cold and the air is heavy. A baby comes into life in a secret location guarded by elites. It's the Hokage's first child, and the mother of this child? The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. But unbeknownst to everyone within the delivery room is that another stands outside, the bodies of many Anbu scattered around his feet. Before the Hokage can reinforce the seal holding Kurama at bay, the sly warrior makes his way in, holding the baby hostage. He had known that the seal was weakest during childbirth and waited for that moment. A testament to Uzumaki's sealing jutsu. Escaping with Naruto to a secret location, Minato leaves the baby alone by itself as he goes after his wife. By the time he gets there, she has already lost the Nine-Tails. He manages to bring her back to rest with Naruto and goes to face off against the tailed beast and its manipulator. When he manages to defeat the mysterious masked man, the tailed beast is freed. Kushina, already beyond saving, offers to take the tailed beast with her. Minato denies this, stating that it would bring an imbalance. Instead, he decides to use the Reaper Death Seal to seal the beast into their infant son. The beast tries to stop this with its claw, which Minato and Kushina catch. The beast is then sealed into Naruto. But the question I ask is, why did it have to be this way from the start? I know Kushina had to die, she was already too far gone, and the loss of the tailed beast is generally always fatal. Nobody ever really survives losing a tailed beast unless you're a Chad like Gaara, but why did Minato need to die? So let's say for a second that he had some other sealing jutsu, something without the death constraint of the Reaper. Of course, the beast's power would have been too much to seal all at once without the Reaper, but I suppose that just means that he would need to split it into its yin and yang version, one half in himself and the other half in Naruto. Sealing the first half into himself would give him a power boost and manage to weaken the beast enough to seal it into Naruto. So let's just assume he had such a technique and was able to use it to stop Kurama. Both father and son would have survived, and not much would have changed besides this fact. I could imagine a heartbreaking moment of Minato crying, cradling his lost love with Naruto crying not far away. Lord Third would appear as the barrier lowered and come to his side and give him reassurance. Minato would pull together because his village needed him, but more so because his son needed him. Eventually the village would begin to rebuild, and so we skip ahead about 12 years. Here we find ourselves in the Hidden Leaf. Everything is as before, except peace has reigned, and guess what? There are a hell of a lot of Uchiha running around. I would surmise that after his battle against the mysterious masked man, Minato would be able to explain to the Ninja Council what had happened. While he would have doubts about it being Madara, as even when fighting, he questioned this. But at the same time, he would not want to let such an eradication of the Uchiha occur like it would have without him. In other words, this means that there is no eradication of the Uchiha clan, meaning we're left with less of a brooding Sasuke and more of a kinder, smiley Sasuke. A better turn of personality if you ask me. This would also mean the likes of Shisui would still exist, and Itachi would still be a part of the village. All of this being said, Naruto and Sasuke's childhoods would have been very different from what we've seen in the main series. Naruto, despite having been the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails, is respected as a hero who sacrificed his body to protect the village like his father. He would have been loved, respected, popular, and far stronger. If you recall our previous what if about if Naruto wasn't the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, then you'll recall how well things went for Naruto there. Well, this AU currently is that, except better. Naruto wants, nothing really. He's raised by his father, still treating Hiruzen as a grandfather, still having little cousin Konohamaru to play with. But beyond all this, he also has the Nine Tails, which he's being taught from a very young age how to control with the help of Minato, who also is trying to learn. Naruto has someone to look up to, someone to emulate. This all leads to slight personality changes. He's still silly and is still creative, but he has a better handle on his emotions as well as his manners. He also has a lot of empathy for others. He's trained from the start in the ways of chakra control and manages to start making progress in various jutsu, some of it high level. He's trained in the Uzumaki's sealing techniques and learns the Rasengan very early on. He would also be training well with Jiraiya. The two would also be training for Sage Mode as well. Meanwhile, Sasuke is living at home with his parents, Fukako and Mikoto Uchiha. And guess what? That "I'll teach you later" Sasuke promise Itachi was always making is finally being fulfilled. Sasuke is a natural prodigy. He would have excelled in Shuriken Jutsu, Ninjutsu, and Genjutsu. He would have grown nicely, having another of the Uchiha clan to teach him and was natural to their clan. Sasuke would have entered into the academy and been at the top of his class, as would Naruto, with whom he would have a healthy rivalry and friendship that was more akin to brothers than just schoolmates. Naturally, they would go into the same team together, along with Sakura, another student who crushes on Sasuke, but also seems to have a little thing for Naruto. The group is shaping up to be the next legendary Sannin. They're headed by Kakashi, who forms Team 7 with them. Naruto and Sasuke seem to display great teamwork together. Both share the dream of becoming Hokage. And Sakura? Well, her dreams are what you would assume. They end up passing Kakashi's bell test with flying colors. They would be sent on the Land of Waves to aid in bridge construction. However, when the Demon Brothers attack, it becomes obvious that this is a far higher level mission than is common for Genin. But Naruto and Sasuke's flawless defeat of the Demon Brothers, as well as their insistence that they continue, forces Kakashi to give them the benefit of the doubt, and they continue the mission. They eventually are stopped by Zabuza, who faces them in battle. Kakashi goes to fight, but with the help of Sasuke and Naruto, he doesn't need to resort to using his Sharingan, which means he doesn't end up basically crippled from chakra overuse. Sasuke and Naruto are already at a level that they don't need to do any real chakra control training, and Sakura is already able to do what is about to be taught to them, so Kakashi skips the entire lesson as it just eats up more time in their mission. The bridge construction starts to come to an end ahead of schedule. Gato and his men can barely slow it down. Any issues that come up are put down rather quickly by Team 7, with the men working for Gato beginning to lose heart. They manage to buy enough time for Zabuza to recover, however, and so Zabuza and Haku would return to the battlefield where they would face off against Team 7. Just like before, Kakashi would face off against Zabuza, who as of yet still doesn't know he can use Sharingan, giving Kakashi a definitive edge. Sakura continues to protect Tazuna, while Naruto and Sasuke face off against Haku. Haku is actually easily overwhelmed by their teamwork. Even using the mnemonic mirroring ice crystals technique, he finds that they're quick to figure out how it works, and together, they manage to shatter them all. In the end, Haku, much to Naruto and Sasuke's sadness, dies. They're upset because they had to kill another kid, but they realize that this is just what happens in the world of shinobi. Catching the attack of Kakashi, Haku dies. Zabuza loses his battle with Kakashi, and just as in the main series, after seeing the body of Haku defiled by Gato and his men, he decides to kill them instead, sacrificing his own life in the process. This is a sad thing for Naruto and Sasuke to learn. The world is cold. It doesn't care if you're young or old, hated or loved, it'll kill you all the same. The bridge finishes ahead of schedule. The bridge is named the Mist Demon Bridge to remember Zabuza, the demon who rid them of a monster. After this would come the Chunin exams arc. It comes in 3 parts: the written tests, the Forest of Death, and then the exhibition matches. Naruto and Sasuke are able to make sense of a few of the questions, but in the end it seems way too hard to be a normal test, and they quickly deduce that the idea is that they must find a way to cheat. After all, Ibiki Morino is in charge of the test, and Naruto would recognize him as the head of interrogation. This is a test not of intelligence on paper, but in reality, and moreover, how to gather it. This made sense as they wouldn't be failed if they were caught cheating, they would only lose points. Team 7 would then begin to pass info along, using Sasuke's Sharingan as a way to discover the correct answers. They're then presented with the final question. This question had the stipulation that if one failed to answer it correctly, they could never become a Chunin. However, Naruto and company decide to take it, and merely by deciding to take it, they pass. The second test is the Forest of Death. Naruto is impersonated whilst taking a whiz in the bushes, but is quickly pointed out by Sasuke to be an imposter. The imposter is quickly defeated. One big thing to note is that Orochimaru actually won't attack them here. You'll find out why later. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura eventually retrieve their scroll and pass on to the third stage. The third stage actually occurs the same as it would have in the main series, with Naruto and Sasuke making it to the finals, only for them to be interrupted by the Konoha Crush apparition. However, the Konoha Crush operation goes a little differently. After his defeat by the hands of Sasuke, Gaara seems almost calm, almost creepily normal. It's not long after that Gaara releases Shukaku, and in its eye was a Sharingan. It was under Genjutsu. Meanwhile, snakes are pounding their way through Konoha's defenses. Orochimaru is on the battlefield, and his eyes are those of a Sharingan user. Now, the important thing to remember here is that Orochimaru wanted Itachi because he was an Uchiha, same for Sasuke. Now that there are more Uchiha running around, Sasuke and Itachi aren't the only ones that he can take. Orochimaru would likely succeed in taking an Uchiha for a host body eventually. In the end, Minato would likely face off against Orochimaru alongside Hiruzen. Meanwhile, Sasuke and Naruto have to face off against Gaara. The battle with Gaara would likely play out the same, and seeing as Gaara is under Genjutsu, Naruto and Sasuke would decide it's best not to kill him. Sasuke would begin formulating ways to break Gaara free from the Genjutsu, all while Naruto is holding Gaara back with Gamabunta. Having to face off against two Hokage, with one of them being the tailed beast-empowered Minato, not only does Orochimaru fall, he flat out dies. Nothing short of plot armor would save him from Minato. With Orochimaru gone, Gaara would fall out of the Genjutsu and would be taken down by Naruto and Sasuke. The snakes would be defeated by Jiraiya, and the invasion would come to an end. Alright, we got something to talk about. With the way things currently are, a lot of the story elements will actually be skipped. The entirety of the search for Tsunade will not happen since they still have a Lord 3rd and 4th living at this time, and the Sasuke recovery mission won't happen because 1. Sasuke doesn't hate his brother, nor does he need a reason to seek more power as he already has what he needs, and 2. Orochimaru is dead, meaning they wouldn't have anyone to take Sasuke to anyway. So what I see happening right now is that Naruto and Minato would likely spend the time skip training at Mount Myoboku, so Naruto can learn Sage Mode. Their chakra control increases from here, and I could see them further learning how to harness Kurama's power and even achieving Kurama Chakra Mode. Upon returning to the village, they would hear that Gaara had been killed. Now, the reason why they wouldn't go on the mission to save him is because Gaara wasn't the Kazekage. Gaara would not have a change of heart because Naruto would not use his greatest technique, Talk no Jutsu, on him. However, this does prove to be an issue as his tailed beast was stripped. This meant whoever did this is in search for tailed beasts. When the Raikage's brother Killer Bee is kidnapped next, Naruto and the rest of the Team 7 are sent to assist in the rescue mission. There, they encounter the Akatsuki for the first time, facing off against Kisame, Deidara, and Tobi. Both Kisame and Deidara are taken down by the combined might of Team 7 and the Raikage. Tobi, however, manages to escape. Killer Bee, however, dies due to losing his tailed beast. The Akatsuki appear to Konoha as a big issue. Eventually, Hidan and Kakuzu manage to take the two tails and are confronted by Asuma and his team. This plays out exactly the same as the main series. After Asuma's funeral, Team 10 and Team 7 head off to face against Kakuzu, and he's utterly annihilated by them. From here, Minato sends his old mentor Jiraiya on a mission to find the origin of the Akatsuki, and we all know how that goes. Jiraiya finds the leader Pain, but is killed before he can report back. The news rips Minato apart. His mentor and father figure has been killed, and Naruto doesn't take it too well either. They try to celebrate his life by going to Ichiraku Ramen together, but both find themselves too distraught to eat, instead finding themselves crying at the table. They leave and try to console each other over ice cream, which mostly works, but they're still upset by it. They vow to find the Akatsuki and end it as soon as possible. They devote the rest of their time to training and keep their eyes out for the Akatsuki. As for the Akatsuki, they would gather the rest of the tailed beasts before attempting anything on the village hidden in the leaves. They would eventually show up, Pain and the Six Paths along with the rest of the Akatsuki. They summon the demonic statue of the Outer Path using Nagato's Rinnegan, and with the technique, Impure World Reincarnation Jutsu, managed to restore Ginkaku and his brother, only to immediately feed them to the demonic statue. This begins the statue's rise into the Ten Tails, and Nagato plans to use this power to destroy the world's system and unite people through pain. However, he's surprised to be betrayed by Tobi, who, using Kamui, manages to slip through defenses and steal Nagato's Rinnegan. Implanting them in his own head, he becomes the Ten Tails Jinchuriki and waits for the moon to get into optimal position to release his infinite Tsukiyomi. He then attempts to take the Nine Tails from the father and son duo. However, they all attempt to stop Obito, with Minato and Kakashi realizing who Tobi really is. The Akatsuki are fought, and with the help of Itachi, though sick, manages to make quite a difference. The Hidden Leaf Shinobi managed to stop most of the Akatsuki, but by the time Itachi engages the Six Paths of formerly Pain, presently Obito, we can just call them Six Path of Obito since that's easier, Itachi finds he's expended all of his strength and succumbs to his illness. Sorrow at the loss of his brother forces Sasuke's eyes to evolve into Mangekyo Sharingan, and he faces off against the Six Paths in his brother's place. Minato and Naruto are having one heck of a time trying to work against Obito, but he keeps nullifying their jutsu. Nothing they do can scratch him. That is until they find that Sage Jutsu, such as Rasengan, can do damage. With this knowledge, they manage to overwhelm Obito. And then, in true Cell Game style, they use a father-son Big Ball Rasengan to finish him off. From here, peace ensues, but it's not without cost. Practically the entire Hidden Leaf village is decimated. They can begin to rebuild again, but with the attack here being even bigger than the Ninetales' attack years earlier. There would of course be survivors, but it'll take a long time to rebuild. This is devastation on the scale of Pain's assault, which I guess was max casualties, but this time there's nobody to use the Outer Path Samsara of Heavenly Life technique. So the dead remain the way they are. Dead. Where the Hidden Leaf goes from here, I honestly don't know. The world is saved, but the village is gone. They will surely rebuild, but the question is if the world will let them. But then again, the next question arises. Can the world stop them from coming back? There's a lot to consider. The shinobi of the Hidden Leaf could be seen as world heroes, or they can be seen as threats. Some may try to capitalize on it, and the credibility of such an attack's success is ambiguous. Could they kill Naruto and Minato? Maybe, but probably not. But then again, they don't need to kill those two. They just need to kill enough of the shinobi to ensure that the village can never revive. Would allies step in? This is just the thing. I don't know what would happen. I guess we leave that up to your imagination. So, tell us, what do you think would happen in the aftermath of such an event? Would the Hidden Leaf be able to rebuild? Or would it be lights out for our leafy ninja pals? And what do you think about the ending? Do you think anything different would have happened? And if so, what? Leave a comment below and tell us. And until next time, my friends, peace.